Act 2, Scene 2. The scene takes place on Friday, a week later as George and Benita return from a date. The youngers are packing up to move to their newly purchased house at Clybourne Park. George wants to kiss Benita, but she is indifferent. She prefers them to engage in a conversation concerning the plight of African Americans. George Murchison's dream is to marry a nice, simple, but sophisticated girl like Benita. Nevertheless, Benita considers George Murchison as a fool because she does not love him that much to even consider him husband material. She loves Asagai because Asagai brings out the best from her. Asagai makes her to search for her true identity rather than faking to integrate into the American white culture to which she does not naturally belong. Mrs. Johnson visits the youngers where she's entertained with drinks and food. She has come to inform the youngers that a black family had just been kicked out of their home in the white neighborhood. She is very insensitive to bring out such information at the moment when the youngers are preparing to move into Clybourne Park. She treats the youngers as a proud acting bunch of colored folks. Waters Bass calls to find out, and it is at this moment that Ruth and the family understand that Walter has not been to work for the past 3 days. He has spent the last 3 days drinking out of frustration, depression, because his dream of investing in a liquor business has been shattered by Mama buying a house and keeping the rest of the money to herself. He does not feel man enough, and he believes that the reason why the money has not been handed to him is because he has nothing to show for it that can give him the audacity to make decisions while Mama is still around. Mama realizes that her son is being eaten by something from within. And she tells her son, there ain't nothing as precious to me. There ain't nothing worth holding to. Money, dreams, nothing else. It means it's going to destroy my boy. I say I have been wrong, son, that I've been doing to you what the rest of the world has been doing to you. And she hands over to her son $6,500 with the instruction, I want you to take the money and take $3,000 and put it in the saving account for Benita's medical education. And she gives the rest of the instruction. And from now on, and the rest, you put in a checking account with your name on it. And concludes, and from now on, you are going to be responsible for every penny that comes out or goes into that account that bears your name. And it will be for you to decide. And lastly, you are now going to be the head of the family from this moment. The handing over of such responsibility to Walter awakens his spirit and brings out his manly qualities. because of the responsibility that has been entrusted to him and the family money. He regains confidence, he is energized, and he becomes excited. In a conversation with his son Travis, he tells him, Daddy ain't going never to be drunk again. And he adds, one day you are going to come home from my office, which will be somewhere downtown. He says, now you can't understand, son, but I'm going to do a transaction that is going to change our lives. He does not talk only about his dreams of having a car, a beautiful house. He is concerned about Travis's education and wants him to be educated in the best school in America. When he tells him, just tell me what you want to do, what you want to be, and you will be it. He also thinks that through this investment, he will be able to have money to give Ruth the best things of life. Take note that while he is interested and concerned about the welfare of his wife, of his son, of the general family, he does not pay attention to Benietta's dream of becoming a medical doctor. He pays more attention to his son than to Benietta's needs. The author's statement is clear that George and Benietta are not compatible in this sin because of their philosophical differences, and any relationship of matrimony between these two will crash. George Murchison complains that Benietta is much of an intellectual and opinionated woman who has a liberal spirit. And he tells her that men don't admire such women. While he wants them to talk about their romance, she prefers that they should talk about something else. Mrs. Johnson's presence in this scene is already a warning of what might be awaiting the younger family if they decide to move to Clybourne Park as they have decided. And it also highlights racism and segregation. Mama realizes that from Walter's frustration, she does not want to hurt her son out of love, and she decides to hand over all the money. She does not only give him the money, she also gives him the authority to become the head of the younger family, whose decision will be final. Benietta sees George Murchison as an assimilationist, one who believes to be assimilated. Walter cares more about Travis. He loves his wife. He loves his family. But we also want that in this scene, I want you to also see that there is also a problem about the chauvinistic nature of African American men who want women to embrace and remain in the traditional role that has been ascribed of women to women, of simply being housewives or to take to jobs, professions, which are less dignifying, like being a nurse. Walter does not see why her sister should choose to become a medical doctor, which is practically a masculine profession. The fight or struggle is across racial and gender lines. Although Benietta has proven that she is intellectually capable, Walter is more concerned with his dream and Travis's education than Benietta becoming a medical doctor. To him, a medical doctor will not fit with the role that women have in society. But to Benietta, it is a means of showing that she is a different woman with a liberated spirit who can decide what she wants her life to become in the future.